Good morning, beautiful. I hope that this finds you well rested, ready to begin your day. This is your Daily Tarot and Oracle, your daily insight on life and love for June 3rd, 2022. Also being timeless. So wherever you're catching in time, it might be relevant or not so much, but that's completely up to you. And well, if you found your glorious way across this, stick around. You at least will be entertained. There might be a nugget of info in here for you. This is General Collective. Don't ever force these to fit your life. You can always let them fall away. You can always ask questions about booking a private reading or any of the services I provide. So there's an email address and also ways of contact on the description, and also if there's a pinned video up front. So the email address is in there, but also the online profiles are at Raising Sevak. It's the @ RAISINGSEVAK. No punctuation, no numbers, no spaces or anything like that. It's one word. I found actually one of those spam pictures and they put a stupid period in front of Raising Sevak. Don't fall for it. I'm never gonna ask you for your private info. I'm never gonna reach out. You reach out whenever you're ready. So now that I got that cleared, and I've probably annoyed more than one person, I'm super sorry. Spam accounts suck. Let's do this. This is where we're kicking it off. So it looks like there's major motion to avoid some sort of a lesson in your life, and I feel like you don't want to look at the problem. This is actually, that's not the wish come true, but there is a wish come true. There's fulfillment that is in a roundabout way happening, not because of the avoidance. This is because, first off, it looks like there's absolutely a new start that is happening in your life, but the new start isn't happening because of what I was just talking about. It's because you're learning how to say no to things in your life, whether it's people, situations, things that aren't meant for you. You're learning how things are not meant for you. You're learning how things are not exactly in your vibration, no matter how much you have this idea of how you care about it, that you love about it, so on and so forth. I am seeing this as always looking towards the optimistic side of life, and I think that this is something that you are either learning to do or that you've been masterful of. Please keep in mind, I'm not talking about toxic positivity, so help me God. You don't need to be in a burning home just saying how happy you are that it's warm. Don't need to do that. This, I don't see that you're holding yourself back. I don't feel like you're avoiding anything anymore. There's something that you've taken your focus on that has finally manifested into life, and it's probably been a huge source of frustration for you. Where is it? Where are they? What's going on? And you've been focusing on what's in your hand and what you don't want to experience in your life. And then, out of nowhere, out of seemingly nowhere, out of your peripheral vision, here comes this little opportunity. You're not even fully aware of what it is yet. You're just barely seeing it. Here it is, and then plump right in front of you. And it's like, what do you do with this now? Is this even real? Yeah, it's real, but in order to have this, you have to let something go. So it's all about the projection of happiness, moving on in the future, and not saying no to things that are meant for you. Now, this isn't a source of anxiety. This is saying yes to something that kind of plays on the nerves, but in an excitable way. The excitement because your higher self knows that it's possible, but nervous because you haven't been there before. Major growing period for you. But, and that's a big but right there, what are we letting go of? I made a post about something like that earlier. So on TikTok, it says the Crown Prince of Dubai was following me, so I made a joke post about it and how lucky I am. And I said, but, because I was like, I don't want to make anyone jealous. I'm not trying to, brag, but, and that's a big but right there. It was funny. I had the Prince of Dubai following me, and it was authentic. I have issues. Anyway, so back to your reading. Sun card. There's a rebirth that's at hand, and it's going to involve a rite of passage. Your ability to step through that rite of passage is your mastery. So you're in a fragile state because of the birthing pains. You're following a sense of discipline, not complacency, but the discipline alone feels like it's actually giving you a major sense of confidence. It's like when you first start doing like these healthy things for your body, whether you start to eat again, or if you start to take control of your eating habits or your diet or your exercise, or you start taking a prescribed medication, these little good things that you do for yourself. This, even at the smallest increment, has a worldwide effect on your experience. It totally changes everything. It makes it more possible. And when you start to build on that possibility, that confidence, then you truly master yourself, because everything that starts to interfere with that, you see it as a challenge to overcome. How wild is that? Anyway, self-mastery. These are major messages that are coming into play. We have the Knight of Swords, and it's in reverse. We have the Devil in reverse, and we have the Two of Swords in reverse. So 2 swords in reverse and a Devil in reverse. Oh, and the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So it looks like there's some sort of missed opportunity that you really were not plugging into. You either feel like you should have wanted it, or that you this was what the former you would have done, would have wanted. There's a major detachment or even a sense of relief about missing that opportunity. You were on the fence about it from the get-go. This would have never worked. There's somebody who's coming in, who's opening a door for you, figuratively. This is somebody who comes in the perfect place at the perfect time to, I think, have you step through that either rite of passage or the door on here. So this is somebody who is not on the same vibration as you, but I think that your vibration has been changing, and that's why this person is seeing you for not only who you are in the moment, but where you're going. I want to read, this is also in the minis, so the Law of Oneness. And I've been getting some really good feedback from reading the laws of the universe since they took off the time restrictions on TikTok videos. I started going through them again, and I love that I can do this with you guys. So listen, what is the Law of Oneness? Many of us have been taught that oneness is when we tune into others or nature and become one with the world. Yet it's so much more than that. It is actually feeling and knowing that we are all connected to all things, people, animals, nature. Beyond that, we are one with the universe, knowing and feeling how we all started from one and are fragment and all a fragment of the one. Yeah, your consciousness and self-expression, it is all connected. So, one concept of creation was there was source, and that all that is. That source was all that is. Energy, this consciousness sent out a sound, and that sound returned to itself. And when it returned to itself, it sent out another sound and answer to it. Each sound was a specific tone or frequency. Yeah, it's an echo. Each frequency manifested its sound into light. Each light is Oversoul. After many frequencies had been manifested into light, these lights became a consciousness of its own. We can call them all Oversoul. Each Oversoul split into 2 rays of light. One ray was silver and one was gold. Each one of these we will now call soul. Each soul started to create planets and began to incarnate on them. In actuality, all time and lifetimes are happening simultaneously. How wild is that? All that was, all that is, and all that ever will be is in the moment happening on top of itself. Time is not linear. Consciousness, awareness, action is not linear. It just simply is, and it is not in the same breath. It is such a paradox. Okay. So each soul, which was incarnated in many dimensions and time periods, simultaneously these lights were extensions of each soul, and we'll call them spirit. Our linear minds have to call them past and future lives for the human mind to understand. This is why when you visit a past or future life and you make a change while visiting it, whether in meditation or hypnotherapy, but hypnotist, not everybody's a hypnotherapist. There's difference. I've been a hypnotist since 2010, and regressions, past life regressions, are my gap. I am obsessed with it. It is my specialty. Yeah, so let's continue to read. Okay, when you make a change there, you feel a change in your here and now. The reason is because they are all happening simultaneously. Since we all began from source and we all co-create, all is right, all there is right now. That is in existence, then we are all one and connected. So why is the place of oneness is different than our concept of one with all? Through the teachings of the New Age and meditations, we were taught to go out and become one with nature, a tree, or an animal. This is not oneness. This is consciously connecting to another. We are always connected, but this is consciously connecting. We are already one with all. So when we are taught that we have to tune in and become one, this is not the truth. You are part of the great whole. Yes, you're this different expression. Yes, you are your own shard of reflection of the creation, but you're part of the collective as a whole. So I am you and you are me. It's like that. It's actually a huge mental mind F if you go deep down inside of it. It's bizarre. So what I see here is somebody who is a mirror of that oneness, opening this opportunity for you. So let's look at that. It's going to take you from a place where you don't belong, a place that you've outgrown, a place that no longer shares a reflection, but somebody has drawn on that shard. It's going to wipe your slate clean. Your slate is going to be made cleared. And you are going to go to where you actually belong. Now, when you say that, sometimes people will get this idea of you're going to go into the dumps or you're going to go into a place of suffering. That couldn't be further from the truth. If you find that you're going into a place of suffering, then something inside of you has been in a place of suffering, looking for the validation and affirmation on the external part. So even if you're not consciously aware of it, this is something where you have to dig deep into the subconscious and see where that locked up sense of worthlessness or pain or inexistence has been. Now, sometimes we have these as blocked out memories, and sometimes we don't get to retrieve them, but that's your brain in trying to protect itself. You and your awareness is your advantage in this point. So if you've come to this at this point, then there is some sort of locked in place that you have mentally and emotionally that is ready to be unlocked, that you now have the tools to kind of maneuver around it. And it's actually going to bring it out and free it so that it can be healed, helped, and reintegrated back into the wholeness that is you. And after you do that, that's when you start to find out where you belong, where your place is, where you are the biggest asset. And you truly are an asset. So let's kind of start to pick this apart. The no place like home, this is what I was looking at. And then we have the regeneration in reverse. Life is trying to give you a new opportunity, a second outlook on life. And you need to let what's crumbling crumble in your life, because this is the least to the new life. It is such a second chance. And I know that it's hard to let go of the past. It's hard to let go of familiarity, because the unknown, when you don't know what it is, it becomes dangerous. It's like being afraid of the dark. You're not actually afraid of the dark. You're afraid of what's in the dark. You're afraid of what you can't see. And even when you're in these scenarios in your life that are not comfortable, but they're familiar, you at least know what you can anticipate to happen. Yeah. So this is saying something is crumbling. I know you want to stay comfortable. Part of you wants to stay safe, even if the situation isn't safe. But Spirit is telling you, you can trust in it and you can let go. So after you let something crumble, what's going to happen? You're going to get what you want. But you have to be very clear about what it is that you do want. Sometimes what you think what you want isn't what you really want. It's what you think that you should want, or what others have told you that you would want. And you feel like that's somehow going to be in alignment with you. There's really no enthusiasm. It's just kind of pushy in that way, isn't it? So discard that and see what it is that you truly want, because all that glitters is the treasure that's going to be given to you. What is that treasure? What is it that is authentically a gift for you? All right. Also, your destiny can't uncover you if you have a mask on. It can know that you're under the mask and it can dance around you, it can taunt you, but if you keep the mask on, then this has no way of actually finding you and showing you an authentic world. You've got to take off the mask of how you feel that you should show up. Show up how you are. It's not a fake it till you make it thing at all. Even at your points of discomfort, show up. Because in those little what you perceive as weak points is something that will become one of your strengths, because it's getting the most attention to see where it's coming from and to fill in that spot, so you don't have to even deal with it anymore. You overcome it. The crossroads is you're not at that crossroads yet. You're approaching it, and that you need to start preparing yourself for which direction you want to go. This isn't a time for you to procrastinate, to self-sabotage. I know that those are all enticing, but I honestly don't feel like you're plugged into the point of doing that. I don't feel like you're at a point of self-sabotaging. I feel like you see that there's an opportunity that's coming up and there's this urge to prepare yourself. So how can you prepare yourself? First off, you need to find peace. And stop comparing your stinking path to other people's, especially your peers. Oh my God, don't even get me started on your family or clan. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I say that because not everybody has, like their birth family. They have like this whole unit of people. So that's why I say that. The peace, it's not about ignoring the chaos that's around you. It's recognizing your level of control in the chaos around you and surrendering to what is in your grasp. And that might even sometimes feel like nothing. So the TikTok aspect of this, I don't really feel like it's to the app TikTok on this at this point in time. I feel like it's taking your eyes off of what everyone else is doing and how they're spending their time in their life and starting to put the focus on yourself. So what is the guidance in this? This card just fell out. You need to start working on your own discipline and routine, setting yourself free of other people's demands and expectations. This is where your transmutation comes into play. So as I was saying in the beginning of this, there's a lot of laws in the universe that are at play right here. We have the law of attraction. So each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends. So invest wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with peace, love, and harmony, or love, peace, and harmony. At your request, we will gladly attune your energies to higher frequencies. So the loss is really you dropping the weighted anchors and letting yourself, in a figurative way, get higher. So to be honest with yourself is, what is it that you know that you need to let go of in your life so that you can elevate? Spirit is telling you that you need to start listening to what it's whispering into your ear. No, you're not crazy. No. Signs and synchronicities are constantly unfolding the life in the direction before you. If you don't like it, tune into something else, change your frequency. I know that sounds easier said than done, but you have to understand it's when nothing and nobody else is around and you are at your default. What do you do in those times? Sometimes that looks an awful lot like watching some sort of cartoon or watching some sort of movie or having some sort of a snack. What do you do and what do you gravitate towards when nobody's around to judge you and you're just there in your element? If you don't like that, then you need to make the changes. And this is talking about the discipline to do so, and you have the drive to do it now. So the change in direction is coming into play right now. It looks like you don't like what happens when you're all alone and at your baseline. So you are going to be changing that. What is the guidance and how to do that? I'm still being pulled to this. All right, so be selective with the relationships that you have. You do become the people you surround yourself with and your environment. It's not that you're a weed that's growing in the ground that's going to grow beyond them. They're going to be a constant reflection of your state of mind. If you don't like it, add some distance and start going into the vibration of the people that you do want to be in. Even if it's reading a book, even if it's going to watch a video about people you admire, those are the people that you are actively choosing to keep around. And that's what's going to change the direction. This is what's going to inspire you. This is what's going to be the creative co-creator for you now. So the release and surrender, it wants you to get playful with this. It wants you to surrender with what you accept yourself to be and allow yourself to go, and also how you allow yourself to move on. This is going to be a process. So that being said, if you need help from me, because I do coaching and I also do tarot and oracle reading, I don't know if you gathered that, go ahead to the description, find the email address, or again, find me on the social platforms and send me a DM. I do look forward to connecting with you. And seriously, until next time, stay safe, have fun, know that you're greatly loved and appreciated, know that you have a special purpose here. And this has been the Daily Tarot and Oracle, the daily insight in life and love for June 3rd, 2022, being timeless. Let me know how this reading resonates. I'm sending you a ton of love. Okay, so I've gotten some positive feedback about posting to the laws of the universe. So I decided, since we're no longer doing 60-minute videos, I'm going to go through all of them again, excluding the ones that I've already done, obviously. But let's do this. We're going to start off with Law 1, which is the Law of Oneness. And we're not pulling any strings on that one. Okay, so many of us have been taught that oneness is when we tune into others or nature and become one with the world. Yet it is much more than that. It is actually feeling and knowing that we are all connected to all things, people, animals, and nature. Beyond that, we are all one with the universe, knowing and feeling how we started from the one in our fragments of the one. Yeah, you're an expression of consciousness, the collective consciousness. How wild is that? So one concept of creation was there was source and all that is. It actually has that capitalized right there, all that is. So energy, this consciousness, sent out a sound, and that sound returned to itself. When it returned to itself, it sent out another sound and answered to it. Each sound was a specific tone or frequency. As it traveled and returned each time, it changed frequency. It's an echo. It's an echo. Each frequency manifested in its sound into light. Each light is oversoul. After many frequencies had been manifested into light, these lights became a consciousness of its own, and we'll call them all the oversoul. Each oversoul split into two rays of light. One ray was silver and one was gold. Each one of these we will now call soul. Each soul started to stick to another page now. Create planets and began to incarnate on all of them. In actuality, all time and lifetimes are actually happening simultaneously. This is something I've believed for a while now, and this is so cool. Everything and anything that has ever existed or that will ever exist is occurring in the now on a different vibration. And you can tune into that to whatever degree you want. How wild is that? Okay, back to the reading. So each soul, which was incarnated in many dimensions and time periods, simultaneously, these lights were extensions of each soul. We'll call them spirit. Our linear minds have to call them past lives and future lives for the human mind to understand. Oh, geez. Okay, this is why when you visit a past life or a future life, you can make a change while visiting it, and whether in meditation or hypnotherapy. I've been a hypnotist since 2010. I flippin' love doing regressions. You have no idea. Okay, when you make a change, you feel a change in the here and now, in your here and now. The reason is because they're all happening simultaneously. Since all began from source and we all co-create all that there is right now that is in existence, then we are all one and connected. How wild is that? Okay. I love this. Let me know how this resonates with you. This is so cool. We're going to talk postcards from Spirit because I've been loving this, and I hope that you do too. So if you find your way across this, Spirit has a message that it wants to give you. It's going to be in the form of a long letter, and I will shut up so you can pause and read if you don't want to hear my yapping. I said what I said. And here's the third card. So if you are still here, let's do this. Okay. Miracles never run out. Look back over your life and you will see so many moments of synchronicity when all the right people, the right places, and the right opportunities and the right time just showed up without any of your help. Think back to how you felt just before a miracle happened. You felt like you were giving up, but it was more like a gentle surrender to whatever was about to happen. We want you to know that miracles are being concocted for you and you will never run out of them. Let's see. You just don't get to choose how they come, who's going to deliver them, when they will show up, or what they will do for you. All of that is in our department. Spirit knows what's best for you and wants to be expressed through you. You are incredible and amazing and a magnet for miracles. That would be a good mantra for you today. We're on it. Relax. Take a chill pill, says Spirit. We have something exciting to share with you. You are a manifesting master. You don't even know it. There will always be enough of everything that you need in your life. Money, opportunities, love, kindness. So whatever you're asking for guidance about, have faith and be open to the many ways in which you will experience prosperity. Spirit is the source of your supply. The universe is always reflecting back to you and what you believe. So whenever you fall into insecurity, you will be shown an illusion as if your fear were real. But the truth is, the universe is abundant. You are and have always been enough. And the abundance is your natural state. If you can imagine something consistently as truth, then you will create it. So you are on the right path right now. Keep believing and then start seeing things happen. That's actually the law of transmutation of energy. Yeah. So if you allow your awareness to settle in, you'll hear us whispering sweetness and encouragement to you. You will know the truth of things that cannot be discerned through the material world. The receiver for this kind of essential knowing is your intuition. It's not your sixth sense, but it's your first and primary navigational system of your soul. Isn't that a trip? You are entering in the age of consciousness. It is time to accept that the paranormal is normal. Human beings are multisensory, multidimensional beings. Spirit infused all things, and your soul's job is to discover those essential truths here on earth, where we all agree to play. Today, trust your spidey sense. Read between the lines. Tune into the stories behind the stories, and your world will show you miracles. Fear not, we're right here, and Spirit loves you. Trust in the invisible and loving you more every day. Love, Spirit. They are pretty on brand with what's going on collectively. Go check out the Daily Tarot and Oracle on my YouTube channel. It's for June 3rd, 2022, and it's again timeless. This and the readings that I've been doing are really pointing to it. It's going to have a pretty good message for you. Let me know how this makes sense. All right, if you have stumbled your glorious way across this, there is a spirit message for you. So sit down and listen. Okay, so this is talking about the laws of the universe are in effect. This has been a theme for the last few days. Definitely check out my YouTube channel because in the last few days, from the 1st of June 2022 all the way through the 3rd so far, it's been talking about the laws of the universe that are in effect in your life. You're at a fork in the road and a change in direction. So this I want to kind of elaborate on. You've got to put yourself in the flow state. So what the hecking heck is going on? You have to recreate what ease and abundance really does look like in your life, what it is that you want to experience, what you want to walk away from, what you want to create. So this, if you don't pay attention to what you have gone through in your life, or if you try and hang on to a situation that is extremely painful, Spirit is in that breath telling you that that life is not meant for you. It will keep hurting you until you learn to let it go. But also, if you don't recognize what you have learned from those lessons, you are bound to create them because you are drawing in the same experience. So knowing that you've experienced it, knowing what you have learned from it, and that you're drawing it in, how do you get out of it? Like, what is the path to getting out of the same experience? And this is all absolutely in the mind. So you operate on a vibration. Everything does. Everything that you are aware of, everything that has some sort of molecule to it, is a consciousness that wants to express itself. And it is a reflection of creation, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. So what I'm seeing in here is getting in touch with your higher power, seeing the blessings for what it is, and even in the hardship of the lessons. Your life is going through a major change, and it looks like there's a block between you and what the experience is. So you have to first look at what the block is. What are you having a hard time getting through or over? This is going to be coming about through the reflection of the past. You're not living in the past, you're looking at the past as a reflection to see what your base is and what you kind of want to leap into. But on the other side of that is the experience. So what are you calling into experience? It feels like it's nothing but flowing water that you can really create into anything that you want to experience. So what are you afraid of experiencing? Are you afraid of experiencing the past over and over again? Because this is saying you gotta kind of recognize the lessons learned in that so you don't experience this again. You may not want to look back at it, but you can't avoid the elephant in the room. And once you've cleared the air on that, once you have decided and seen what it is that you've already experienced, what you've learned and what you don't need to experience moving forward, that's when you gotta get to treat this like a playground. What do you want to go on? What do you want to have fun with? Who do you want to involve in this? All of that. And I really want you to focus on that feeling when you're doing this, because it's going to, if you are doing it from an authentic place, it's going to invoke some sort of feeling or, deep feeling or emotion. If it's not, chances are you're doing it because you feel like this is what you should want, or that this is what somebody else wants, and that this is kind of like trying to, in that way, be like that person rather than the authentic version of yourself. It's not a slam at you. This is a point of self-discovery. So, if it's not creating an emotional reaction out of you that is excitement or having that sense of longing or, just wanting to actually go towards that, pause until you actually discover, something that does create an emotional reaction. Not pause life, not stop everything. It's not that. It's just don't engage in that thought process anymore. So you are getting in touch with your divine higher self. And I was talking about this with a client actually just before I was recording these. You know how you get signs and synchronicities in the universe, and it affirms or pulls you away from what you experience. Your subconscious is pulling through your entire environment to get signs and symbols that affirm what your focus is and which direction you're funneling into in life. So if you keep getting signs for something that you don't want, yes, you're still pulling it in. But your awareness is your advantage at that point. So if you don't want to keep seeing these things, if you want to put the focus on something else and start experiencing that, then if you know what you don't want to experience, you can push that away. You can put it off to the side. But you can start scoping out your experience in your environment and see what it is that you do want to actually start involving. And that will bring about different signs, different synchronicities, and a different funnel. And do that until you have something that is right in front of you. That's, I think, overcoming the hurdle. Did I just kind of go on a rant with this? I'm so sorry about that. But it's you getting into the flow state and yeah, it's going to be quite different. Your happiness and simplicity in life is going to look vastly different from what it used to be. What used to be is no longer for you, my dear. You have incredible, blessed changes that are coming in. You are getting in touch with your divine self. That's all I'm going to say. I hope this makes sense. Isn't it crazy how a loss can actually be a win in your life? Now, I'm not talking about losing a loved ones. Obviously, those are going to be hard, but there's some senses of loss that actually are in your benefit. It's freeing you up so that you can have a redefined happiness. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different in its own experience, and that's what I see kind of happening for you right now. Initially, this loss feels like a low blow. It feels painful. I get it, I understand. I don't want you to be going through a pain, but it looks like the fate being in reverse is, why would this happen? Why did this have to happen to you? And this isn't necessarily feeling like a blessing right now, but if it weren't for the loss that you had unfortunately experienced, there wouldn't be this new co-creation in play. So every ending is it's the beginning of a new beginning. And that's exactly what you're experiencing right now, some sort of new beginning. And I do see that you're ready to take this leap, but you can't really count on yourself getting closure from the past right now. So the closure, I feel like you're hanging on to keeping some sort of a connection to this past, and it's really excruciating when it's the loss of a loved one, which that might be what you are experiencing. I'm not saying it's a blessing you lost them. I'm not saying that at all. There's hanging on to a past person that you have loved and cared about. That's preventing you from being fully present in what you need to experience next in this new beginning. So just because you fit in doesn't mean that you belong. I know that you feel at home in the past, but you don't belong there. You never belonged in the past. This is telling you to keep moving forward. There's a new opportunity that is being opened to you. And the procrastination and the stagnance, the disassociation that you seem to be feeling is actually a symptom of you trying to hold on to this past loss. This is saying that you're ready, but you won't let yourself believe that you're ready because it feels like somehow betraying your past if you did move on with this. Life is about to become very beautiful for you. And it doesn't mean that you are forgetting anything or that anything is just better. There's a new round of life to be had. And it very much involves you for being a participant in it and co-creating in it. So I kind of want to know, what is the blessing in disguise with this? The fact that life goes on, I mean, that's part of evolution. That's part of why we have, generations. It is living proof that life will always go on. So what is your blessing in disguise? Let's see, the unknown. Interesting. So this is knowing that there was nothing more that you could do from the past and that it lived itself fully. And then change in direction, you are not off course. This is all part of this beautiful thread. You're ready. The blessing in disguise is knowing that even though it's something painful that you had to let go of, that thread was complete. That thread ran its course and it's threading now into this new part of the image. And that's why you start to see the color changes. And I'm speaking very figuratively with this. You're still on course. And life is still to be had. And you will have many blessings and miracles that come into play for you. And you can not feel guilt in accepting those miracles and blessings. It doesn't mean that you didn't love or care about the past. And it doesn't mean that it didn't love you back. I hope this made sense. So your life is going through kind of an expansion, whether it's materialistic, opportunistic. Those often coincide. What I'm seeing in here is divine intervention, drop kicking a door of opportunities that is going to yield awesomeness to you. I know, right? So incredibly specific. There's prosperity that is coming in, and it's time for you to actually sit with it and kind of have a self-discussion about your worth or your ability to accept your worthiness of it. This is kind of like a high five from Source, Spirit, God, your angels, your loved ones. But the whole worthiness and the waves of prosperity, it's like when somebody gives you a compliment, they're telling you how amazing something or someone is, and you're just like, I'm gonna back off of this, and they are insistent on it. Do not rob the opportunity of life to give you. It is part of the ebb and flow. You have been giving so much. Life needs to give you something back, and this is the gift. And it's probably going to be coming in more than one wave, because look at your history. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've done that you haven't even put out for people to stand in awe and gawk at. You are absolutely an earth angel, and I love this about you. So this is saying, let Source and Spirit please take care of you. I know that you don't want to put this faith into other people's, but at least trust divine guidance on this. So the music for manifesting. Please check out the Daily Tarot and Oracle for June 3rd, 2022 on my YouTube channel. It's all about the Law of Oneness, and I posted videos about this. This is a theme for this reading, and since June, moving forward, the last few days, this has been the theme, laws of the universe. There's definitely something in play here. And it's also your protection that's coming into play, that this is not going to be ripped away from you. This is you getting into a vibration, and it has to be a form of leveling up. Just because I see how this has been going, you are not going backwards. This is divinely protected. You're not going to have anyone rip this away from you. It's a time of empowerment, but you have to free up the things that stand between you and the experience. So this is talking about the purge and simplifying your life. So sometimes when you lose, you win. Sometimes when there is a loss, then you find yourself. And I feel like this is coming into play. Simplify your life. Get rid of what is no longer in alignment with you or your vibration. This is going to clear up space for this new flow to come in. I really hope that this made sense. It's all about your empowerment, and you have to know that you're protected with this. I'm sending you a ton of love. All right. I'm looking at the cards that I just pulled, and I'm thinking about the collective readings that I've been doing today. Please go check out the Daily Tarot and Oracle for June 3rd, 2022 on my YouTube channel. This is all there. There's such an important theme that's going on. So I'm not saying that you're holier than thou. I'm not saying that you're better than anyone or worse than anyone, but my God, are you here for such an important purpose? You have crown chakra activation going on, solar plexus chakra being healed. So the solar plexus chakra is all about the way that you relate to people. It's your passions, it's even sexuality, it's how you are in your environment. So this is talking about clearing out what is kind of disempowering you in those areas of life. You are a hypersensitive person. That is absolutely a superpower to embrace. Your crown chakra, that's being skewed by the solar plexus and the toxicity that is potentially around you. I'm not talking toxic positivity. No, I'm not going to be that person that's like, go get him, Champa. Every stupid thing that comes about, that's not this. Toxicity, you're sensitive to. Stay away from it. I don't care what degree it is. I don't care what anyone else can handle. That's not your job to have to handle everything. No. So what I'm seeing here is clear yourself. You have to get rid of these blocks that are in part of the crown chakra. You are so sensitive. You're getting these downloads, which are just aha moments where information clicks into place. Sudden clarity. You are here to teach about love. You are love personified. And I think that that's probably been something that has hurt you a lot in life, because not everybody shares your heart, which you have to learn how to shield yourself and have healthy boundaries. Now, I'm not telling you to drop and run from everybody in your life that isn't in vibration with you or doesn't have a hint of toxicity. I'm not that person. This is saying have distance. Give yourself an allotted space. You can love somebody, but you can love them to stay super far away from you. That's totally your call. So the crystals is having some sort of an anchor to keep you present and not keep yourself from floating away. I mean this in a very figurative way. So like that flightiness or getting your head too far in the clouds. I want you to dream. I want you to have ambition, but I also want you to maintain a sense of being grounded in this. You're somebody who's here for a masterful purpose. You're here for enlightenment. You're here for ascension. You're here for all of that. But it's not only you, but you play an important part in this because you're part of a great web. We're only as strong as the weakest points. And I'm not saying that you're weak. I'm not saying that other people are weak. I'm saying allow the ascension, because this is a networking and a strengthening of that collective of vibration. So this distance with what's toxic and not in alignment with you. Let yourself receive these messages. Actually start to embrace that loving nature that is so beautifully yours. And know that this is going to be protected from Source, Spirit, God, whatever you want to call. But also you have to learn how to have healthy boundaries and lovingly and politely tell someone to go F themselves when appropriate. So let me know how this works for you, and clear your energy. It's time.